and 2, so he's actually got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 4 drops, then 2 Scavenging Ooze and 2 Vampire Nighthawks. He's got his 4 Farseeks, of course. Then his spells are a little bit different here, just in varying numbers. You see Desecration Demon show up to the party, 2 Bonfire the Damned, 2 Putrefy, 2 Rakdos' Return, to go along with a Dreadbore, a Tragic Slip, an Abrupt Decay, a Doomblade, and a Mizzy Immortals, of course the diversified removal, and then 2 Garrets.
So BBD, who has had some trouble hitting his 3rd land drop in the last match, finds it here and is able to land a Liliana to deal with that Desecration Demon. So basically it's gone back and forth here so far. Benjamin able to capitalize on that Farseek with a turn 4 Desecration Demon, and now let's see what he's got for us on turn 5. You see he's got an Olivia. He does have a 5th land drop, so if he has Thragtusk, I imagine he'll play that. But
he's got a Huntmaster that falls in his hand too, Joey. And he elected to play Desecration Demon as a threat he would start off with instead of a Huntmaster or instead of an Olivia Voldaren. You know, had he played Huntmaster, that Liliana looks a lot less impressive.
Absolutely. But Huntmaster it is for this turn. And that Liliana is unlikely to survive for much longer. BBD now. He's going to tick up Liliana. It's the only way she goes.
Looks like he's going to discard a land.
Yep. And yeah. Discarded Bonfire from Benjamin. Discarded Swamp for BBD. And he's going to go ahead and play his 4th land. It is a Mutavault. And he's got another 3-drop. Looks like a Rolf's Messenger.
Not the best card in this situation because it's going to come into play tapped. You can't defend his Liliana. But Liliana, you know, by having to attack, he's actually going to prevent himself from taking 2 points of damage, assuming that's what Nikolich wants to do.
There's a Kessel Wolf Run. Jun's signature land behind what, Dragon Skull Summit or Blood Crypt or something. I mean, I guess technically.
For my money, the best one of those lands from Innistrad.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a deck named after it, Wolf Run Ramp, from original when Innistrad was just released. So there you see Liliana gets smashed into, goes away, and Brian takes 2 as well. As Benjamin splits his creatures between the opposing planeswalkers.
Let's just see what the follow-up's going to be here. If he wants to play that Olivia Voldaren, he can shoot a Dross Messenger as well, make it into a 4/4 right away if he deems that necessary. He can get things out of late range pretty easily here. And it is going to be that Olivia and just pass the turn back with a shot available.
So BBD draws his card. I believe I saw a Doomblade in there. I could be wrong.
Not the best card right now. I mean, it's perfectly fine taking care of Huntmaster with a Wolf token. Olivia Voldaren being black is going to make it... I mean, things are going to get a little bit tough here on Brian. Yeah. You know, you look at his land right now, he has what looks to be 2 swamps. I think he's got a Godless Shrine and a swamp over there. But that might be 2 isolated Champels to go along with that Mutavault. So his Mutilate, assuming he has one in his hand, we know he has 2 in his deck, is not looking very good right now.
Yeah, well... it's definitely a Godless Shrine in a swamp. Okay. He led with a Godless Shrine.
Gotcha.
So he's got at least 2 swamps. He's going to go ahead and play Disciple of Bolas, which has a nice interaction with the Geralt's Messenger in that, you know, he sacrifices the Messenger, draws those cards, but hey, Messenger, Undying, gets to come back. So it's kind of just like a free 3 cards, 3 life there.
Draws a Doomblade, a Desecration Demon, and a Mystery card. May have been another Disciple. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It looked kind of like Ultimate Price, but this is game 1, and that's not oh no, there it is. He does have Ultimate Price. So I think it was Doomblade, Ultimate Price, and Desecration Demon. And he plays 3rd Swamp, 2nd basic Swamp, but the 3rd actual card type Swamp. And that Mutilate, if he has a Mutilate, it would be pretty good next turn when he can cast it.
It's kind of interesting right now too because he's going to shoot something here. I was wondering if he's going to shoot down the Disciple of Bolas or not, and he's not going to. I guess the Morbid on Tragic Slip is already on because Disciple came in and sacrificed something.
Right.
So I think maybe he should have just taken down the Disciple there because Tragic Slip was already on, so I don't think there's much of a reason not to kill the 2-1, but maybe he wants the Messenger for himself. Does Benjamin?
I don't know. I guess that's possible. He could certainly do that. It would make a Mutilate a lot more appealing for BBD. So Olivia does shoot the Messenger.
It is a Vampire Zombie now.
I thought they say don't shoot the Messenger. Maybe that was something
they do say that.
Something that maybe Benjamin should have shot the Disciple because there's got to be a reason they say don't shoot the Messenger. Yeah, so Olivia grows to a 4/4. Now Benjamin with 7 lands in play, including a Kessig Wolf Run.
Gonna ooze with that cavern.
Yes, Ooze is the call on the Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Souls seems to be one of the cards that we're not going to be seeing a month from now.
Well, that's a good thing since it ruined Magic.
It did.
Remember when it did that? It ruined everything.
It ruined everything.
It's ruining this game.
It's ruining. Yeah. I think the Browns lost last year a lot because of Cavern of Souls.
That's exactly why. There's nothing else. There's no other reason. So in comes Olivia and the Wolf token. Yeah, this is a very, very easy block here. It's going to die anyway to Olivia, so you might as well jump in front of it. No Wolf Run activation either.
Yeah, so Olivia.
Could just be Olivia City.
Yeah, Olivia connects. Disciple goes away. Benjamin says, I didn't play any spells. Huntmaster is going to flip. BBD says, I have a response. I'm going to bring the Doom Blade. Oh, also, Geralt's Messenger does untap.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And Doom Blade for the Huntmaster. Benjamin, I think, going to shoot it on the way out here. Potentially here. Or is he
going to shoot it down?
He's going to shoot. Yeah, he's doing a lot of shooting here. So, looks like he shoots Messenger.
Yeah, he just triple shoots.
Just triple shot Messenger, yeah. It looked at one point like he went Messenger Huntmaster,
yeah.
And like, who are you shooting? So triple shoots the Messenger, clears the board entirely, with the exception of the 7/7 Olivia Voldaren.
Yeah, I mean, BBD just needs a removal spell really bad in the worst way right now.
And that ultimate price is not going to do it. That
Nope.
Doomblade wasn't going to do it either. So a Sign in Blood.
Maybe he finds his way into a tragic slip here. It is morbited right now. Isolated Chapel.
Does not find a tragic slip in the top 2. Just 2 lands.
Again, Mutilate's not going to be able to chase down Olivia Voldaren. That's kind of the issue here right now. Not even close to 7 swamps. There's that Orzhov Guild Gate, his namesake land.
I think that could be it. He could turn the corner with that Guild Gate.
Yep.
The namesake of the deck.
It's past the turn back. So, I mean, he's in a world of trouble right now because he can't really play creatures effectively. So he has to find a removal spell immediately here. The problem for BBD is that, Olivia's sitting at a 7/7 and there's a Wolf Run out there. So Nikolich can just put all of his mana into just riding the Wolf Run and getting this game over in 2 turns. And there's a Blood Crypt untapped.
Yeah,
that's what he might
imagine he goes all in here on this Wolf Run.
He's only got 1 card left, so he's gotta. He wants to get this game over with as fast as he can. Again, you take a look at Braun-Duin's deck list, see what he can do to get himself out of this situation. There's 2 Oblivion Rings. There's 2 Tragic Slips, but they're not morbid right now.
Right, so the Tragic Slip does nothing at this point. Well, saves him one life. So it looks like Benjamin's got a different plan. He's going to go ahead and play Huntmaster of the Fells.
Okay.
Huntmaster comes down, brings a wolf, as always. Leaves Benjamin with 4 untapped lands. Is one of them the Wolf Run's tapped?
Wolf Run's tapped, yeah.
So he's not doing any of that. He's going to go ahead and use Olivia to shoot each of his other creatures, growing Olivia up to a 9/9.
A play that I like.
Yep.
See what BBD draws.
And I think, was that Tragic Slip? Or,
not quite sure. Can't make it out.
Yeah, tough to see. It had that similar kind of look to it. Could also have been a Geralt's Messenger.
Yep. May have been a Disciple of Wolves too. Either way, I'm not sure if it's something that gets him out of this situation right now. But he is, he hasn't conceded the game yet, so he might be able to do something.
If he had Mutilate Tragic Slip, that would get him out of this, but I don't know that he has either, let alone both. Plays another Mutavault.
He's got 7 lands in play.
So BBD looking for a way to get out of this situation.
It starts by casting a spell because he doesn't want Huntmaster Fells to flip.
Yeah,
that's step 1.
I can't imagine he passes the turn without casting a spell.
Yeah.
Simply for the fact that he's much more than dead on board, considering the opposition. So yeah, he can't figure out a way out. I don't think that there was one beyond something like Mutilate Tragic Slip. And BBD packs it in here in game 1, but 2 more games. BBD can redeem himself and make top 8. Benjamin Nikolich also attempting to make top 8 here at 8-1.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking
here in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a match here with top 8 implications. Both players having a fantastic weekend in this 10-round standard open tournament. But one more to go, and if you're Nikolich, you're probably feeling pretty good. Again, he's not really sure what BBD is up to.
Right.
Again, because BBD is playing like this row creation. I'm sure they may have been sitting next to each other over the past couple of rounds, but as far as, working with perfect information like we are here in the booth, like you guys are at home, that's probably not the case. We'll take a look at BBD's sideboard here, see what he can do to turn things around. He's got another Dune Blade, another Blind Obedience along with the two in his main deck, 3 copies of Duress, an Obsidat, a Curse of Death Soul, another Mutilate, make it 3 after sideboard if he wants to, 2 Pithing Needles, 2 Underworld Connections, an Ultimate Price, a Liliana the Veil, and a Vampire Nighthawk. Look at all these cards, he's still soft to Olivia level.
Yeah.
That's the troublesome part of this, is that he just does not have a good removal spell for that card. Liliana can catch it, but Ultimate Price and Mutilate obviously don't do it, and Mutilate has a very difficult time of chasing it down. Yeah. That's the difference between Mutilate and Supreme Verdict, or Wrath of God, or any of those effects is, while it is effectively that card, it's not always that card.
Yeah.
That's the difference there.
Vampire Nighthawk does do a reasonable job of holding it off. But if there's enough mana, it's just going to die. And
yeah, I mean, you can either shoot it down or you can use Olivia's ability, the 5 mana part of it, just to take target vampire.
Right, yeah, and presuming you've hit your 4th, all you need to do is get 1 more land to deal with it. So it doesn't hold it off for long, like you said. Really tough spot. Olivia really puts BBD in a tough spot. She's a card that has made quite the impact since, not initially. I think it's funny how Olivia didn't pick up right away.
It took a little while for it to pick up, but a card of that power level, like this amount of text and it being a 4-mana 3/3 flyer, I think it was only a matter of time, right? Like I can't imagine that a card like this gets printed and it's just not very good. That's just how I feel. Like when a card of this power level just ends up never seeing any play, it's pretty rare that something like that happens, and I'm not too surprised that it dominates the way that it does. It was a great card in Limited. Not all great cards in Limited are great cards in Constructed, but I think a lot of people had a feeling that this one would be. It was just when is the time right for it. Unsurprisingly, Patrick Chapin was one of the people who championed this card, and he found the right time to do that, and it's kind of picked up ever since.
I believe he played it at Worlds in San Francisco when it was the last Worlds of that sort of design. I guess now we have the new sort of design of the tournaments, the Worlds tournament, World Cup.
Championing in Grixis, and always championing Grixis either way. We'll take a look at Nikolich's sideboard here. 1 Scavenging Ooze, 1 Curse of Death Soul, 2 Liliana the Veil, 2 Underworld Connections, 3 Golgari Charm, 3 Duress, and 3 Devour Flesh. That one's a little bit interesting to see in the sideboard, and that one's actually pretty good against BBD if he doesn't have a Dross Messenger. Being able to take care of Restoration Angel, a Desecration Demon, can catch an Obsidat if the situation presents itself. A little bit surprised to see that card in the sideboard. You don't see a lot of that. Kind of a nod towards Bant Hexproof,
which we have seen none of that.
I haven't seen any of that in the room, actually. The Duresses could come in here because this is like a pretty spell-heavy mid-range mirror match. I wouldn't be surprised to see some number of those come in. I don't really love Golgari Charm. I'd love Underworld Connections, of course. Both players are just going to be going long, want to draw a bunch of cards. Lilianas are okay, and then the additional Scavenging is on the sideboard could come in as well, just as another threat. Not in love with Nighthawk in this matchup.
Yeah, as soon as you start thinking about it, it's actually awful against Olivia.
Yeah.
And not great. I mean, I imagine it's there more for the very aggressive opponents.
Yeah.
It's very good against these red-green decks that are trying to do so much damage so quickly.
Again, haven't seen very many of those decks either this week.
No, I think we saw one on camera.
I'm a little bit surprised to see Killer's red-green deck after the destruction that it caused 2 weeks ago to just see so little of it this weekend.
Yeah.
Or at least certainly near the top tables when we got on camera.
Yeah, maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe there's something we just haven't, somebody's top 8'd with it or is going to top 8 with it, and we haven't seen them on camera.
I mean, we'll know during our breakdown when I break down our top 8 after this match is over.
Yeah.
And we got to start here first.
Absolutely. So, game 2 is now underway. BBD accidentally hits the top of his library. I was going to try to correct that. But yeah, we're underway here in round 10, and first turn, Duress from Benjamin.
This is a good hand for Braun-Duin. He's got 2 copies of Underworld Connections. 2 Isolated Chapels, a Swamp, and a Desecration Demon. So he's got a card that he does want after sideboard and Underworld Connections, and thankfully for him he has 2 copies, so this first duress is not going to break it up.
BBD on the play here, so hoping to have enough time to get that 3rd land to get an Underworld Connections online. Other than that, he just has a 4-drop and some lands. So BBD plays the Orzhov Guildgate, passes the turn. Benjamin, do you have another duress? You do not. So BBD now turn 3. I imagine he does top deck a Disciple of Bolas. Not anything he's going to be using now, but that could be very relevant later to kind of get a mini Sphinx's Revelation.
And if you're BBD too, I think the thing, no second duress is a sigh of relief, but the other big one here is no Farseek.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of playing on even ground right now. You don't get to steal the initiative back if you're Nikolich, so you have to kind of just play a normal game of Magic here and let the haymakers just fly back and forth and back and forth.
So Underworld Connections is the play from BBD, and Benjamin top decks, I want to say it was Scavenging Ooze. Pretty sure it was.
Does he have another black mana? So I think Benjamin has a Underworld Connections in hand of his own. You see there's a Desecration Demon, there's a Cavern of Souls over there, some other things. We're not sure if he has an additional black mana. And the other thing too is the Cavern of Souls in his deck, what do you name?
Right.
All the creature types are different. We're looking at Beast for Thragtusk,
Vampire for Olivia,
Demon for Desecration Demon, Ooze for Scavenging Ooze,
Human for Huntmaster, right? So I don't know what he named. Oh, he named Demon. Okay, we got confirmation. And there was the Scavenging Ooze that he drew for the turn.
There's a loud declaration. He has Desecration Demon in his hand.
Yeah. Like you said, no second black mana source. So if he wants to play the Demon and does not have another black mana source, then the Cavern was the only thing he could do there.
The other thing that Cavern represents by playing it this turn as your 3rd land represents that he doesn't have another land in his hand, because that's the last land that you want to play.
Right. So Desecration Demon for BBD.
Woodland Cemetery off the top for Nikolich. So that's a big draw. Lets him play Magic now, because I think he's got his deck is 4-drop heavy anyway, because he has 10 4s and 4 Huntmaster of the Fells, 3 Olivia Valdarin, and 3 Desecration Demon. So hitting the 4th land on time here lets him actually start to empty out those 4 mana spells. It's a big draw.
So Nikolich trying to decide now, what 4-drop does he want to play? We know he has Demon in hand. Unsure what else. Did you see a Huntmaster in hand?
Not sure what other 4s he has in hand right now, but just the fact that he has access to so many 4s in this deck means that he's probably got multiple 4-drops in his hand. So he's hiding his hand a little bit from us, but you can assume.
Desecration Demon is the play from Nikolich, and he passes back with Scavenging Ooze and Desecration Demon, both untapped. Brian's going to draw a card with that Underworld Connections on his main phase here.
Big thing for Brian, he's got to take these cards and turn them into he's going to be able to draw a decent amount of cards over the course of this game. He just needs to turn them into real things and then convert those resources and try to win the game, because he has the card advantage engine online. There is a cost, of course, paying a life, but
I think he's willing to pay that cost at this point in the game. So BBD carefully considering his options here. We have not yet moved to combat. Suppose it's possible that Nikolich sacks the Scavenging Ooze to protect himself from that demon, and potentially open clear the way for his own demon. So Mutavault is the play from BBD as far as land drops are concerned. That's his 2nd Mutavault.
I think what BBD's doing is trying to figure out how he wants to go about playing this game. He's got a Disciple Bolas in his hand. He's wondering, do I want to cash that in on this Desecration Demon to draw a bunch of cards? The answer currently is yes. So he's going to get 6 cards and 6 life. And, basically, by cashing this in, he's going to draw a bunch of cards here. Alright, I feel like my deck is going to cough up the necessary cards to be able to beat your Desecration Demon and your Scavenging Ooze, and hopefully the next couple of cards as well. Drawing 6 cards means he's probably going to discard a couple of cards. But that's basically what he's saying right now is, I think I'm going to be good enough to be able to beat these things moving forward with the combination of gaining 6 life, drawing 6 cards, and having Underworld Connections. We'll see if that actually ends up being how it plays out, though.
Right. Well, looks like he's deciding what he wants to discard here. He has already played his land for the turn and is tapped out. So he discards 2 lands. It's like 2 black-white duels.
Yep.
and passes back to Nikolich. Nikolich untaps, draws a Dragon Skull Summit.
So back-to-back lands
that
is going to
into
let him play. What big draws.
Moves to combat. Brian says, bring it.
I thought there was a chance that he might sacrifice the Disciple to this,
I thought so as well, which makes me wonder if he's got, Restoration Angel available, thinking maybe he wants to blink that, because what good is the Disciple really at this point unless you're going to blink it? Or I guess it's reasonable if you want to force Benjamin to use the Scavenging Ooze.
See, I don't love this play for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're basically, you could have taken. He took 6 damage instead of taking 3, potentially 4. He took 6 damage instead of taking 2, potentially 3, if he wants to activate the ooze. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing that this does for BBD is maybe he's afraid of Benjamin casting a Thragtusk, so that's why he wants to make that block, is because he forces Benjamin to actually use one of his mana, so he can't cast Thragtusk that turn. But if it's just about numbers, then it's easy to say that taking 6 is worse than just taking 2 or 3 points of damage, depending on what the opponent wants to do.
Yeah, interesting line of play there. BBD on his turn immediately draws an additional card with the Underworld Connections. He now pondering his next move.
Looks like he wants to lead with a Duress, but we're not quite sure.
Yeah, he's got that shuffle to the front of his hand, alongside another black-white duel. We see a Liliana in hand, Sign in Blood, and there's an Obsidat in there. I want to say he's got potentially an ultimate price, which would be pretty good here. If he does have ultimate price, he could just go ultimate price followed by Liliana to clear the other side of the board. So maybe that's not what he has, but he has to play land.
Yep.
Yeah. Land, ultimate price Liliana.
Obsidat.
Maybe he was deciding between that play and Obsidat. Obsidat, in any case, is the play from BBD.
So he wants to get the 5/5 established and get the draining and braining going, as Scattering Souls is going to get activated to draw him a card via Underworld Connections for Nikolich. He'll draw his card. He does have a Thragtusk in his hand, does Benjamin, as he's going to untap now.
BBD with no available creatures is going to get smashed by that demon, being that he's tapped out.
Oh, he's going to take a hit on the chin this turn.
He certainly is.
There's a Rootbound Crag.
6th land for Nikolich.
Really interesting to see how these players play this game through the mid-game. These are the turns that are going to decide it, this turn and the next couple.
So BBD takes a hit for 9 damage, goes down to 11. Cavernous Soul is going to draw Nikolich another card. He used it at the end of BBD's previous turn, and now is using it here during his post-combat main phase, and now it looks like a Thragtusk is the follow-up play for Nikolich. Passes back to BBD. Obsidat comes back. Hello, remember me?
Draws Restoration Angel.
BBD with 5 lands, not including the one that he can use to draw cards.
It's interesting because now BBD, he's the one who I thought was ahead in this game, and now he's certainly behind and he's got catching up to do. And that's not a comfortable spot when you don't have mass removal.
So he's going to draw another card with the Underworld Connections. Goes down to 12. That's a nice thing about Obsidat is it's 2 free cards off of the Underworld Connections.
Yeah.
Free,
Yeah.
cost a mana.
One of the many nice things about Obsidat.
Yeah.
One of the not nice things about Obsidat is that it has a lot of trouble attacking through a Thragtusk. So here's a Duress.
Duress shows Olivia, Huntmaster, Thragtusk, Desecration Demon. Yeah, you were talking about him being heavy on 4s. Nikolich proves it. No targets for the Duress. We're gonna lay him out. Yeah.
All gas.
Mutilate doesn't hit cards in hand, does it?
It still doesn't after all this time.
I mean, you'd think it would have somehow, been errated at some point.
Mind Sludge not in the format yet.
the Mutilate that comes with a Mind Sludge,
Yeah.
that'll be power creep for 2026.
Yeah, or Theros.
Yeah,
Either
or
one.
Theros.
Yeah, either
Could
one.
be. Could be.
So there's Duress. You see, I think there's a little bit of conversation with the judge right now.
BBD saying, "You're sure this dress doesn't allow me to take one of those guys, right?"
Yeah, could this please be ostracized? That would be great.
Ostracized, appetite for brains would even be acceptable.
So there are the cards face up from Duress again. Hunt Master of the Fells, Livia Voldaren, Desecration Demon, and a Thrag Tusk over there for Nikolich.
Pretty much the all-stars as far as Benjamin's creature suite goes.
Yeah. You know, Benjamin's deck is a lot more creature-heavy version of Jund. So as a result, like, he's not as spell-heavy, so Duress actually isn't as good against him as it would be against most people or most typical Jund builds, which is like, it's just like a little bit ironic.
Brian, still with that Duress on the table.
I'd be racking my brain too, trying to figure out how I'm going to get myself out of the situation, because it's not an easy one to get out of.
No, not at all. If anybody's under duress, it's BBD here.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult. It really, really is.
Yeah. So he's really got to analyze. I mean, we don't know exactly what's in his hand, so a lot of. I'm sure there's a lot of lines of play that we're unaware of that BBD can be considering.
Yeah. Back here in the booth, Cedric Phillips, Joey Pascos, SCG Baltimore. The reason we're back here is they're going to resolve a judge ruling really, really quickly. And we'll figure that out, and then we'll get back over there just as soon as we can, of course. It's going to be a tough game for Brian.
Yeah.
Just straight up, it's just going to be, it looks to be a very, very difficult game for him to be able to win because he is far behind. He's facing down a really big army, and his duress just revealed
all non-duressable threats
Yeah,
that he would like to have taken.
Yeah,
well,
all
I mean,
creatures.
Imagine that's an appetite for brains. He's still in a really bad spot, right? You take one of those guys, and it still leaves the other three that are all extremely powerful cards. You know, you have Huntmaster, you have Olivia, you have Thragtusk, you have Desecration Demon. What do you even take?
Yeah,
I guess Olivia, because Olivia is so tough to deal with. I'm obviously speaking from the angle that he has an appetite for brains, but that's not actually the case.
No idea, my friend. So we cut back into it. Looks like we got everything resolved for you guys right now. And we'll see what Braun-Duin does come up with here for the subsequent turns.
So 4 mana from BBD. Yeah, he's backs it up and looks like end my turn indicated there, and then, or maybe not. I'm sorry. Looked like a passive turn. Desecration Demon is the play from BBD. So, BBD at 12 life with an Obsidat and a Desecration Demon on board. BBD now trying to decide whether or not he wants Obsidat to stick around, presumably, considering his life total, and the fact that Benjamin can easily have that demon tapped and swing in. So he's passing the turn, leaves the Obsidat in play. Benjamin now with a Desecration Demon, a Thragtusk, and a 3/3 Scavenging Ooze for his attack force. Has in hand, I believe the top deck for the turn was a Farseek, so not as threatening as the other 4 cards in his hand. He's going to draw another card here with the Underworld Connections, fall to 17. Draws a
draw.
Blood Crypt. Benjamin with a lot of powerful options. What do you go with here?
I mean, I think I start my turn by deciding how I want to attack, if anything. I think that's step 1. And then depending on what happens on Braun-Duin's side, then you kind of move from there. You know, you've got Desecration Demon triggers that are going to go on the stack right now. and then we'll see how things are gonna go from here. You see both players.
You see a lot of...
It's fine. No, yours is fine. No, yours is fine. Everyone's Desecration Demon is fine. I want to trade with your Desecration Demon. Oh, that's funny. Activate Mutavault, sacrifice the Desecration Demon. Okay.
Okay, so BBD able to handle Benjamin's Desecration Demon temporarily with that Mutavault. Stone Range himself.
So it looks like no attack, maybe? Yeah, it looks like no attack.
Yeah, I don't imagine you attack there with both creatures available that are bigger than your guys.
The interesting thing that Nikolich could do that turn is he could attack with Thragtusk. And then Desecration Demon blocks. He loses the front half of the Thragtusk, gets his 3/3, plays the Olivia Voldaren, and finishes shooting down the Desecration Demon.
Yeah.
So it has 5 damage on it. That would make 6. Chooses not to do that and just plays another Desecration Demon and passes the turn back, which isn't a bad turn either.
There aren't that many creatures in the graveyard right now to grow that Scavenging Ooze, if I'm seeing correctly. I see there's a Disciple.
There's a Bolas over in Braun-Duin's graveyard, and then not a ton.
Right, I think that's all I see. I was just wondering if that Scavenging Ooze could grow out of hand, but I don't think it can get much bigger than a 4/4 at the moment, so that's another reason why he wouldn't attack. So Nikolich passes the turn to BBD. BBD draws a card off Underworld Connections after drawing for his turn. He has an O-Ring. That's something. Plays, I think that's an Isolated Chapel. And he goes into the tank.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of work to do. I'd be in there too. I don't know if he has a ton of draws to get him out of this situation. Again, he needs to draw a lot of removal and just start firing things away and just killing stuff. He's in a really, he's obviously in a bad spot. You know you're in a bad spot when you can't really, blink out your Obsidian the way that you want to. You just can't really do anything right now.
He's got an O-Ring that he could use to take care of one of the demons, but there are 2.
Yep.
On the other side of the board. He wishes that were a Detention Sphere and he had blue mana, but...
I was going to say Detention Sphere, where art thou, but that would kill...
his own demon.
Yeah, he'll kill his own demon too, so... Not even Detention Sphere is that great right now. Complicated board state. It really is.
So
how to get yourself out of this trouble.
So combat, Desecration Demon triggers all past, and BBD is going to trade, or he's going to put his demon in the red zone. BBD able to trade it off for Nikolich's blocking demon. So,
the funny thing here is, like, we talk about the Scavenging Ooze,
yeah,
and how it's not really like that big of a creature, but like for BBD to be able to win this game, he needs to like use a lot of his resources to kill a bunch of creatures,
and then
the Ooze just gets big.
Yeah,
So in the short term, the Ooze isn't that big of a deal, but in the long term, you're looking at a creature that's going to become, in between a 5/5 or a 6/6 or a 7/7, much like the Desecration Demon is right now already. So it's going to be able to get into the red zone and fight with the rest of its friends sooner or later. It just can't right now.
Yeah, right now it can actually become a 4/4. Or is it a 5? Oh, it's already...
Oh, it can become a 4/4 on the end step, yeah.
On the end step, based on the mana that's untapped.
Yeah.
A 5/5 as soon as Benjamin has an additional green available. Because there are 2 more creatures in the graveyard.
You see Ultimate Price. There's that Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, so he's got removal. So, I mean, do you just Ultimate Price the Ooze, and then O-Ring the Demon, and then you have the Thragtusk as a threat, which is, a much better spot than you're in now. I don't know if that's even ideal, but
yeah.
I mean, he's going to play Liliana.
All right. So that acts as a removal spell, kind of.
Right.
In a way. Because it can take care of Thragtusk.
Front half of Thragtusk. Yep, that's what he does. Says, make you sack a dude. Benjamin says, I guess I'll take the front half of Thragtusk.
That's the easy one. More fodder for Scavenging Ooze in the graveyard
right.
now.
now? Do you maybe ultimate price? Well, I guess you can always ultimate price the ooze at any point.
You can price the ooze or the demon whenever you want to.
Right. Yeah, I keep saying about the ooze, but yeah, the demon's pretty relevant as well.
The other bad thing too, man, just keep listing off bad problems for Braun-Duin here. He could just, Nikolich gets to keep drawing multiple cards a turn.
Yeah.
He gets one for his draw step and one for connections.
I mean, so does BBD, but
yeah.
But BBD's behind.
Yes. And BBD doesn't have the level of life gain that Nikolich does. He can't blink out his to that in this situation. He's just so far behind, and his opponent just gets to keep pulling farther and farther ahead.
If you'd like to get your prize, please come up to the stage.
So there's
That means if
Thragtusk, Desecration Demon in Benjamin's graveyard. So that ooze is now a 4/4, can be a 6/6. So the demon's still slightly bigger. The BBD could tap his own Mutavault to activate it and then sacrifice it. That's exactly what he's doing here, to tap the demon, and then ultimate price on the ooze. He's going to wait to see if that ooze attacks first, or if it does any growing or what. But he does have that route available. So it looks like ooze is going to swing in alone into the red zone. It is a 4/4 right now. Obsidat is going to get in the way, forcing Benjamin to grow his ooze to at least a 5/5, if not a 6/6.
It's a good block here too.
So, yeah, I like it because it's gonna. He's forcing Benjamin to grow the ooze only to meet the ultimate price here in the ultimate round.
Do you want to grow any more? No, ultimate price takes care of it. All right. Man, looking at Benjamin's hand right now is insane. Just all creatures.
He still has Olivia, and he still has Huntmaster, and
I think he still has Thragtusk, and he has a Garrick in his hand as well. It's just it's all gas, but it's going to be all gas the entire game because of connections. Like, every land that he draws is awesome too, because then it lets him start playing 2 spells in a turn. There's a
Vampire Nighthawk is the play from Nikolich. So BBD able to kind of gain a little respite there. That turn, it went fairly well for BBD in that he survived,
yes.
Without taking much damage. He dealt with a couple threats on the other side of the board, but he's going to really need a lot of backup to deal with the other threats there to follow. So Underworld Connection is going to draw him another card.
I don't like the mana efficiency on Benjamin's turn of playing a 3-mana spell instead of playing a 4-mana spell, mostly because if he draws a land, then he can play a 4-mana spell and a 3-mana spell next turn and still activate connections. So, if this turn he went Huntmaster of the Fells, and the next turn he activates connection, draws a land, he can play
Nighthawk
Olivia. And Olivia, yeah. So I don't like the mana efficiency this turn, because leaving a mana open doesn't really do very much for him.
I mean, unless he wants to represent Slip, but for what?
Yeah, Slip's not really doing a lot in this situation.
The only thing he could say, if BBD somehow sacrifices, well, I don't even know, kills a creature with removal, then he can slip the Obsidat, and maybe that's trying to keep BBD from killing anything. But I mean, BBD's got to kill something. Yep. He's got to kill stuff. That's what he's got to do. Sign in Blood is the card BBD discards to his plus Liliana.
I think Farseek is what Benjamin discarded, I believe.
I think you're right.
So now what can BBD do? Because now, the only thing happening now is Desecration Demon is just getting progressive, more angry as we go. And he doesn't have things to throw away to it for much longer.
No. So it looks like, O-Ring on the Demon looks like the most obvious play that I can tell. So he's going to go ahead and play a Swamp. He has access to 6 mana at the moment, 7 lands, but 1 is tapped due to the Underworld Connections. So 6 lands, Obsidat and Liliana on 2. She has already been activated this turn. He's going to play Geralf's Messenger as the play, which is not the best blocker here, and it looks like he's passed the turn, so I imagine Geralf's Messenger is going to be demon fodder.
Yes, pretty good demon fodder, actually.
Yeah, and I think BBD also has a Tragic Slip, which he could potentially use here on something.
That Geralf's Messenger has a lot of work to do this game. It's really interesting because Braun-Duin has 2 Restoration Angels in his hand, so what he can end up doing is he can go, sacrifice the Messenger to the Demon, drain you for 2, blink it to reset it, drain you for 2, sack the Messenger to the Demon, drain you for 2 again, and he can actually make up some ground that way in the life total game. and be able to keep the demon in check. There's a tragic slip that you mentioned.
Yeah, so Vampire Nighthawk swings in, BBD deals with it with a tragic slip. I'm not sure if that Nighthawk attacked Liliana or BBD, but either way, it's tragic slip.
Yep.
So Underworld Connections is going to draw Nikolich another card. Now, keep in mind, we're under 10 minutes left in this round. It's the final round. BBD is at this point playing for a draw.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, you know, this game is going to take a little while. There's probably some level of time extension because of the judge call.
Sure. Okay. Still,
But I mean, at the maximum, I'll be generous. We're looking at 15 minutes. I think that's being generous. So
yeah,
it's
this game's
going
not
to be
over.
long.
This game's not far from over. So a Thrag Tusk from Benjamin's going to extend the game, potentially anyway, on his side of the board.
It's funny because depending on how the standings break down, again, these guys are 8-1.
You know, they still could make top 8.
Yeah, one of them could make top 8 with a draw. So, you know, you can make the argument that a draw is horrible for them, but, you know, Brian was in 8th place coming into this round, and a draw might not be the worst thing for him right now. But he doesn't know if it's a lock to get him in, because if it were a lock, we wouldn't even be watching.
Right, he would have
right
ID'd,
now.
right?
Yeah. So now there's another tragic slip.
Second tragic slip deals with the front half of Benjamin's Thrag Tusk.
That tragic slip, very, very telling, Joey, again, because he could have taken care of the Restoration Demon. He chooses not to, so I think his line moving forward is going to be Restoration Angel, Blanket.
It's basically fog the demon.
And
for
deal
as
you
long as
2 points
possible.
of damage as we go. I'm going to draw a card with Connections. Disciple of Loss looks to be the draw. Now, also, the other thing, too, is now Liliana is actually of relevance here, because now if he uses the 2 counters on Liliana and make Benjamin sacrifice a creature.
Okay, he's going to do that, actually, so we're going to see.
There goes the Beast.
The Beast is
And
gone.
now, in can come the Messenger and the Obsidian. So now we can actually start getting after his life total.
The standard open. If right now you're X3 or better, please come up to the stage and check to make
Because
sure
of
you have
the Restoration Angel, you mean?
information
Just-
Well, I'm just saying, like, he can get after his life total. I don't think the Messenger wants to come in.
Okay.
Like, I think Messenger coming in is bad because I think the Nikolich will just immediately block with the Beast token.
Right,
And then you have to Restoration Angel right away. Or I don't think that he wants to do that, but I'm not 100% positive. But Obsidian can just come in because there's just a 3/3 there.
Right.
So Obsidian can actually finally get on the offensive and potentially blink out. Wow.
Ooh, this is interesting. So BBD is going to go ahead and use his Disciple of Bolus now, sacrifices the back half of that Messenger to draw 4 cards.
4. I did not expect that.
No, that's nice to get a bunch of cards, and he's attacking with Obsidat. So BBD very aggressive here.
And if he's attacking with Obsidian, he's blinking Obsidian out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason to not blink it out.
So this has got to be O-Ring on the Demon, right?
Yeah, so this should be land O-Ring. It looks like he started to. Land O-Ring, target Demon. Demon's gone.
All right.
And BBD says, end my turn, blink out the Obsidat. So BBD has clawed his way back into this game on the back partly of that Disciple of Bolus play. He is left with another O-Ring in hand as well. He used one, he just drew another one.
So back and forth we go.
Now we still know Benjamin has quite the hand, so he's only making it better with...
and drawing 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, so it's Brian's not out of the woods yet. He's just put himself in a much better position than he was in a few turns ago. Rootbound Crag is the land drop. So Benjamin with 9 lands now in play, taps 4 of them to play an Olivia Voldaren to add to the Beast token he has already in play. He's going to shoot that Disciple immediately with Olivia. He's going to swing in with the Beast. He's going to knock Brian down to 10. And he's going to pass the turn. Brian now going to get his Obsidat back. Going to go back up to 12. Going to knock Benjamin to 11. Now, draw for the turn is a Swamp from BBD. He's going to draw again with that Underworld Connections.
Brian's got himself into a situation where Obsidat was pretty poor over the past like 4 or 5 turns. He's worked himself in a situation where Obsidat actually has text again.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like a 5/5 that can't really do anything.
He's been able to clear the way somewhat for Obsidat. Here, Olivia is a 4/4, has the potential to become a 5/5. So O-Ring is going to have to be the play from BBD, and that's what it is. So O-Ring's going to take out that Olivia. Obsidat's going to get in for another 5. Benjamin falls to 6 here.
He has finally found a way to make Obsidian relevant. Maybe that was his plan all along, because there's a lot of different routes he could have gone. Again, I mentioned the messenger route with the controlling Desecration Demon. I think things changed once BBD actually found that second O-ring, because he wanted to save the first O-ring for Olivia since he had so much trouble beating it.
I think the second O-ring was off of the Disciple, but I could be wrong.
It was.
Okay, but that was an aggressive play on his own, because when he played the Disciple, he sacrificed the messenger, so he had already decided that wasn't the route he wanted to go before finding the O-ring. So Obsidian blinks out, BBD passes, Nikolich untaps, 10 lands in play.
Wolf run out there now too.
Including a Wolf run. That's a scary, scary land for BBD. He presumably has a way to deal with that beast, considering there's a Wolf run across the table.
So in for 3 to start.
Beast attacks.
Looks like a resto maybe. Maybe just a removal spell.
He does. He has ultimate price. He's got Doomblade. Looks like we're going to see an ultimate price here. So, yeah, ultimate price on the beast.
So what the fob's going to be. Looks like maybe it's a Huntmaster. Yep.
There it is. Huntmaster of the Fells now. BBD was well aware of that card for several turns now. So, no surprise. Garrick, the Primal Hunter, is going to come down, stick, and bring along a beast. So Benjamin repopulating the board here. Plenty of blockers for an Obsidian. Plenty of attackers to take down BBD if he gets the opportunity. So BBD has found himself in yet another situation.
All right, what to do? What to do?
What
Not gonna
BBD
Doomblade.
wouldn't give for a jump right now.
Yeah. Down to 6 goes Nikolich, excuse me, via Obsidian. Desecration Demon, the draw. Let's see what the next one is. Sign in Blood.
Sign in Blood. So
1, 2, 3,
jump,
4, 1, 2, 3,
attack,
4.
Sign in Blood you. Let's see the jump. He just needs jump. Yeah,
he's so close because he can go. This is insane. He's so close because he's got Restoration Angel × 2 in his hand, so he can blink out Obsidian twice to get extra drains, and then Sign in Blood upstairs towards Nikolich. He doesn't have enough mana to do that all this turn. I don't think.
Well, wait. One Sign in Blood knocks Nikolich to 4. All right. Obsidian blink. Yes. Oh, God. So wait. Yeah, no, he could blink. He could blink Obsidian now. Knocks Nikolich to 4. Sign in Blood knocks him to 2. Phase out Obsidian. Oh,
you kill him on the turn.
Yeah, it's still.
Again, that is time in the round.
Restoration Angels represent 2 points of damage right now. They represent Restoration Angels represent, like gain 2, deal 2. Just 2 of those. Sign in Blood represents a shock right now. So he needs to. He needs for Nikolich not to gain any more life.
Right. He can double resto though, can he? So he's going to attack.
He can double resto, yes, but it's just not enough to kill him yet.
It will put Nikolich to 2. Put Brian to 16 though, so that's relevant. So that's. But he doesn't have a way to deal with whatever creature gets Wolf Run. On
going up to 16 is certainly a start.
Sure.
Does have Doomblade in his hand as well. I don't think he's going to make the cool play that I would like to see him make, because there's a chance it leaves him dead. Whatever. You might see a double block, or you might see a triple block.
Damage on the stack. Restoration Angel. Oh man, too bad damage on the stack.
So now,
whoa. Okay, so he just has the backup out.
Okay, all right.
That's his plan. So he actually is able to clear some of those guys out and play a backup. I like this. I forgot about the backup Obsidian that he drew. So that he still gets the drain off of Obsidian and goes up to 14 here. Deals with a couple of creatures. Still has that Doomblade live for whatever, even for the Wolf Run that Nikolich is likely to activate here.
Nikolich activated Connections too, so he should be down.
Did he activate Connections?
Yeah,
it looked like he just drew a second card just now, but the land isn't tapped.
Yeah, he activated Connections on BBD's end step.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did not activate it there during this turn, is that?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because he just drew his card for the turn.
That was the card for the turn. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to confirm life totals for you, but it should be 3 as far as we can tell.
I think we're looking at 14 to 3, yep.
Yeah.
Now there's another Wolf Run.
Yeah, Nikolich cannot activate that and not win this turn. So you know what I mean? So
Wolf Run activation right now could be for 7. Let's see what this is.
another Huntmaster. So that's going to put him up to 5. Okay.
It's funny though. I don't think that one's as relevant now. Obzat's going to come back in, put Nikolich down to 3. Blink with a Restoration Angel is going to put him down to 1, and then Blink again with a Restoration Angel. Signable, it's going to put him down to none. Depending on what Nikolich's hand is, of course. Like if he has a removal spell, it just blows up the entire plan.
Right. Wow, this is exciting.
And he hasn't even used Garrick yet, so he could draw cards and draw into a Thragtusk. But we got a long way to go this turn.
Yeah, he did tap the Wolf Run.
He's got another one out there.
Oh, that's right. I'm
He's
sorry.
got a second one out there. His land for the turn was playing Gessic Wolf Run.
That's what it was. Okay. Not nearly as threatening though.
Not at all.
After tapping 4 lands.
All right, so in comes the Huntmaster.
So Huntmaster's going to swing in. BBD says, "I'll take 2." Garrick's going to draw some cards.
I have a feeling it's only going to draw 2 cards though. So 1.
Yeah, it seems so crazy because he's got all these guys, but yeah, they're all just 2 power guys.
Scavenging Ooze and Huntmaster, the fellas, are the draws.
So he can cast Ooze and start gaining some life here.
He can cast Ooze and gain 3 life because he has 3 green sources in play, and there's plenty of creatures in the graveyard, of course. So he can actually push himself up to 8.
So BBD with he's going to go ahead and Doomblade the Ooze right now.
I had a feeling this actually ends up working out perfectly for him because this is what's going to happen. Ooze is going to remove a bunch of creatures. Nikolich is going to go up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If Brian has a land in his hand, he can do the blink sign play. So what's going to happen here is Nikolich is going to go up to 8. That's going to die. He's going to leave with the Gessic Wolf Run on tap. So access to no spells. Obzat's going to come back into play. This trigger is going to happen.
Right. So they're
Drain and Brain for
Nikolich
2.
to 6.
Yep. Resto Blink, it can put Nikolich down to 4. The swamp that Brian drew, I think, actually just locked it.
There's the swamp. Look, he's separating it right out.
4,
the
4,
way.
and 2.
Look at this. So, Restoration Angel, blink it. Okay, Restoration Angel, blink it.
Yep.
Sign in Blood U. There it is.
Yep.
And they. So, BBD gets the draw.
That game is insane.
That was awesome.
Because that was turn 0.
That was turn 0. We did not say that. It popped up on the screen for us just as he was going through the motions. Those